What is new for 2025 on Amazon with listing images, the biggest mistake that sellers are making, and also the simple fixes that will keep your listings in compliance and optimized for conversion. Welcome to the Six Figure Amazon Store podcast, where we help you boost order value, keep customers coming back, and turn more clicks into sales to scale your brand on Amazon. Let's dive in. Hi there, welcome back to the Six Figure Amazon Store podcast. I'm Becky, and today we're going to tackle a major factor in your Amazon success, which is your product images. And when I say images, most brands think of images as just really, does this fit and have a main white background, like the white background as the main image? And that is obviously a good starting point. But good images and testing your images, that's going to help you move your needle more with sales growth on Amazon, which is essential if you've grown your brand to six figures and you're looking to hit seven figures and more. And obviously, if you're trying to get to that six figure mark as well, that's going to help you get there. But here's kind of the reality of this. Optimized images don't actually just prevent suppression, which is true. They also actually help increase conversion. So how many people are buying your product? Also, better images, that is going to actually equal higher average order value, because when shoppers are seeing value from your brand, they're going to be buying more. A strong brand image also builds lifetime value of customer. The better the experience, the more that they're going to come back for more from your brand. And this is sometimes the first time that people are interacting with your brand. So keep that in mind as well. Now, I know that you're tired of feeling like you're missing out on sales on Amazon. Maybe you're tired of trying to figure it out all on your own without direction on what to do next. You found a lot of information out there on Amazon. There's a lot of it, but you're not sure if what you're learning is up to date or no longer used. So a lot of times you're cautious about what you found online because they give you shortcuts, is what it seems, with high risk, but you want to do Amazon the right way. That is why we've designed the Six Figure Amazon Store course. It is to make selling on Amazon as simple and straightforward as possible. And let me share with you a few reasons it's the fastest and easiest way to get your store set up for success. So no Amazon background is needed. If you're new to Amazon, or even if you have a little bit of experience, there's going to be step-by-step, easy to follow instructions and videos. You also don't need a team, because this course is really tailored for individuals or small teams that are wanting to execute effectively. So even right now, if you're a solopreneur, or you can take action from this course. Also, you don't need an expensive website. Really, that's where Amazon allows you to use their platform. And so you don't have to worry about that overhead of maintaining a separate website or keeping inventory in places like your garage or somewhere else that you don't want it to be. Also, it's accessible information. So I've put everything really into actionable steps, not to be overwhelming, but to be very clear. So you don't have to sift through a lot of resources or guess what works. So this is ultimately going to save you time, and you're going to then build visibility on the world's largest e-commerce platform. So I've made it easy. You can focus on growing your business without the frustration and uncertainty. Everything you need to succeed is in that course. So make sure to check it out. I will have a link in the show notes for you. So with Amazon tightening its 2025 image requirements, using more AI than ever, they're scanning images, right? That's how one of their ways that they use AI in their bots. Brands that don't adjust will lose sales. They're going to also see lower click-through rates, and even suppression, meaning your product listing won't be available for sale unless you update the image or images to comply. And we've seen that happen a lot. So later in this episode, I'm going to actually share examples of what we've been seeing over the last few months and how we've prevented listings from getting suppressed and missing out on sales. Let's break down first what is changing. So the biggest mistakes to avoid. And this is going to help you boost your conversions and also get shoppers to buy more from you. Ultimately, that's going to help improve your lifetime value of your customer, your LTV, meaning better margins for your ads on Amazon when you do try to acquire that new to brand customer. So the first one that I want to share with you, strict your main image enforcement. So remember, Amazon, they're utilizing AI is everywhere, and Amazon is no exception at all. So flagging non-compliant images, you could have your listing suppressed instantly. So you want to make sure, the biggest thing with this is that you have a pure white background that is required. You also, want to make sure that your product is the main thing that you see. We found that it's okay sometimes to have other things as long as it's primarily your product, and that could change in the future. So right now it seems to work, but it might change in the future. So make sure you're regularly checking your inventory so that you're avoiding listings getting suppressed. If your product takes up, it must take up at least 85%. So if, for instance, it is too big, which usually is not the case, but if it is too small, that is not good. Because remember, you also have to have it of certain pixel size because it has to be zoomable, so people have to zoom in. And this just doesn't have a very good first impression at all if the image is too small. Also, you don't want any watermarks or props or text or logos. The one about props is a little bit still kind of, it's okay in some categories and times, but you really want to not have things like your website, on your main, image. Logos, you'll want to avoid adding those logos. Also, like I said, the props seem to be a little bit more flexible. Second, think about better quality standards for secondary images. So this is really images 2 and beyond, depending on if you add a video and also depending on your category on how many you can add. So lifestyle images that create emotional connections to the customer's needs and their outcome that they want and desire, that's really going to make sense in that main image set, especially if there is a, product, for instance, that you also have a complementary product. So for instance, if this is a listing for shampoo and there is a conditioner that should go with it or would pair well with it, making sure that you're putting that in your images is really helpful because that's going to boost your average order value. Infographics, that's going to highlight what makes your product different and also what value does your product bring. So this is going to improve your conversion rate. Also, you've got alternate angles, sizing references. That's going to help reduce returns because they are shopping online. So this is a different type of experience for people. This is ultimately, I think, going to be connected mostly to increasing the lifetime value of your customer. Because if there's a breach of trust or a bad experience with the first time that they interact with your brand and your product, most likely they won't be trying additional products from you or coming back for that product again. Third, remember about the AI-based rejections for if you have poor quality images, meaning blurry low-res images, they could be flagged, they could be rejected. Also, you don't want to overly clutter your infographics with too much text. Could get suppressed there. We haven't seen that happen a ton, but just from the perspective of think about what someone that is glancing at an image, I know there's so much that's great about your product, but think about the few key things that really are helpful for the consumer to know. That's really what you want in your infographic. And I'll also share later other types of images that we have seen get being flagged because I think that's going to be helpful too. Okay, let's talk about the mistakes that are killing your conversions and having customers actually buy less from you and then making customers not want to buy from you again. And then I'm also going to share how to fix that. So the first mistake is relying on generic product images. Really, I think an easy fix. And this I think is a no-brainer. I think it's an investment, but I think it's worth it. Use professional photography and really highlight the product in use. There are ways that you can do that is based on your current budget, but really you want to help them to see that perceived value that they're going to have from your product. That is also going to help, I think, boost your average order value as well. And images, I think, up leveling them in the future is going to be where everything is heading on Amazon. I know that you see listings, maybe even now you can think of listings you've gone to that are just terrible images. The Photoshop job, it looks so weird because it's in someone's hand and it's not even on their hand, and the product is really wrong on the size. Those things, yes, they're still out there, but you don't want to be like everyone else. You want to be different with your brand. You want to take your brand to the next level. So make sure that you're revamping and up leveling your images based on what you can spend. That is an investment, but that is totally worth it because you're going to see the result with improved conversions. And we do have an example from a client where they revamped their lifestyle images to be more aligned with their target demographic and were real people that were actually holding the product, and that up leveled their conversions, and their sales had a nice lift and increase because of that. Second mistake is not using infographics to overcome objections. So think about it. The customer has pain points. So really the fix for this is just to address those pain points, but in a visual way. Think about FAQs, show size comparisons, call out features like premium features, help those people that are not reading the bullets. Those are the things that you want to answer in your images so that they can understand your product better. And when you do need additional space, that is where you can then use A+ content. It's a wonderful place to do that. Mistake number 3, poor mobile optimization. The fix. So Amazon, supposedly up to 3/4 of traffic is on phones. Now, this is going to vary by brand. So that data point, you know, is going to depend and vary on your brand. So you can check your business reporting, see what your actual numbers are, and see what percentage of your shoppers are on the phone. But I can guarantee you there are some shoppers on their phones shopping for your brand. So you want to make sure when you're on your phone that the images are clear, easy to read, not cluttered with text. So it's best to look at the images on your phone once you've updated them, fix anything that might be harder to read on a smaller screen. Also think about, looking at your phone indoors, outdoors, or I'm sorry, daytime, nighttime, different lighting essentially, because you want to make sure that people can read it on their phones and you're going to just be able to get a better sense of what the customer is seeing. The fourth mistake that I see is weak lifestyle images that really aren't building any trust. So you want to fix this by making that brand connection. This is going to help your lifetime value of your customer being really just growing, because if you use authentic lifestyle images, they're going to make the customer feel like they need your product. I've already mentioned about how brands have been shortcutting it and photoshopping products onto images, and AI is really popular too, but AI images are still newer. And I do think there is a place for those, but with these main images that I'm referring to, you know, people are not connecting as much still with them, especially if there's people in the images or video. This could really hurt your brand image. And I don't know if you paid attention, but there was a lot of backlash that happened in November of 2024 with Coca-Cola's Holidays Are Coming video campaign that they did, that they used AI for the entire commercial, and people were calling the video, they were saying it was soulless, devoid of any actual creativity. Also, there was disproportionate parts of the hand holding the Coke bottle, so people thought it was creepy and lazy. So AI can be helpful, but you have to think through the impact that it can have on your brand, and with that, the LTV of who will buy again from you again or not. And if it can happen to a mega brand like Coca-Cola, just think about the impact that this could have on yours. And remember that most people are, pretty much about 1/3 of the people are going through search engines, and Amazon is one of those search engines. And it's really the search engine where people are ready to buy. So this could be a place where people are first interacting with your brand through Amazon. Another mistake that I see is no A+ content or video to maximize sales. The fix for that, Amazon is prioritizing video and A+ content. So use those opportunities to educate and convert your shoppers, you're going to help with your AOV being higher and better retention. Remember, the A+ content is if you have brand registry, and I would say that's almost a no-brainer. It's just, you just need a trademark and it has to be live and active. So make sure you have that. And you can check out some past videos that I've done more on listings if you're curious a little bit more about that. So let's talk about how to really win in 2025 with images. So let me give you kind of a quick little checklist of things that'll help with your conversion rate optimization for images, and also that your images will be compliant. So once again, main image, white background, high resolution, product should be 85% of the frame. Additional images, so image 2 and beyond, make sure you're talking about the features, make sure there's some lifestyle, some value props, differentiation in those images. Also, whatever your images are at, look at leveling them up. So if your brand has been on Amazon already for a while, what are ways that you could refresh them? And if you haven't refreshed them in more than a year, I think that's a good rule of thumb. If you can, at least a year. If you have to, you can do every other year. But general best practices are really usually every 6 to 12 months. And this will really kind of also depend on your engagement and conversion rates. And if there is any kind of shift also in your product updates. So obviously in that case, you would definitely need to update images if something with the packaging changes, or if there's a change in the market that is something then you would want to do as well and change out images. So avoid claims in your image text. So this is something that we've recently seen flagged listings to be suppressed if it's not paid attention to. This is found in your performance notifications. Typically, if you do handle the image within, or the issue, I should say, within the time frame, which is usually about 2 to 3 days, it depends. Make sure you check your notifications. Then you can actually avoid a suppressed listing by updating that image or even removing what you need to and replacing it with something else. This does depend on your niche, and we have seen words in the past like diabetic or pain. Those are words like that have caused issues, especially even when it's on the infograph image. So it's not even the copy. I'm talking about images here on Amazon. And this is even sometimes when it's on the label itself. In that case, I would say make sure that you're consulting with a lawyer on what you can and can't say on your labels, especially if you're in a certain category. You want to make sure nothing comes off as a claim. So otherwise you might need to get new labels created. Once again, though, consult with a lawyer who specializes in that to get their, advice on the wording that you use on your product label. Mobile friendly, that's another thing that you want to have on your checklist. Test how those images display on phones. Infographics, remember they should be clear and concise. Talk about differentiation. Don't put as much as you can in there. Really highlight a few key things. And then also a plus in video, because video really helps increase conversions and average order value. Premium A plus content allows you to add in comparison charts, for instance, which can improve your average order value because people can easily buy more. And then when a customer interacts with more of your products, there's a higher likelihood that the customer will then use your brand longer, which will then impact your LTV. So by following these guidelines, you're going to not just stay compliant, but you're actually then creating high converting Amazon listings. It's going to drive more sales, increase your AOV, and boost customer retention. Another quick thing I want to mention too is that you should be testing, especially if you are scaling within 7 figures on Amazon and beyond. That you can do a lot of split testing. That's called experiments in Seller Central. That is what you need to start doing after you've up-leveled things, and you need to figure out every way that you can continue to improve your conversion rate, because that is what's going to ultimately move the needle for your brand with more sales. So remember, don't just meet these guidelines, use them to your advantage, keep within Amazon's guidelines, and really think about Amazon listings are helpful for your conversions, and ultimately it's a 24/7, 365 days of the year salesperson, and this can help also to with just, brand loyalty. So I want to make sure that your business on Amazon thrives in 2025. And also in the course that I mentioned earlier, Module 3, there is in-depth on adding images that convert that we've found on your Amazon listings. So if you're looking for more specific guidance on what types of images you should use, that would be a good resource. And we also have a PDF as an easy reference guide in the course as well. The link is in the show notes, but we've, everything that we've found to work really well. So thank you for tuning in today. It's been great to chat with you. I hope that all these things are really helpful and that you are able to take action on this. I would say look at all the different things I shared and think of one piece that you can do to improve your images so that they start converting better on Amazon. Thanks for listening to today's episode. I hope it brought you value you can use to grow your Amazon sales channel for your brand. What would really help me a ton, how important product reviews are on Amazon, would you take a quick minute and leave me a review on Apple Podcasts? Just scroll down until you see the write a review in purple, and then you can click the leave the rating and review there. That'll help me to know you're getting value from this and what future content you want to hear more of that would serve you best. Thank you so much.